Hello, dinner guests, and welcome to a special edition of Zealand. Tonight, we are going to do something a little bit different. Have some plans come up, so not everybody could make the recording of normal Zealand. So tonight, we are doing ClueZ, or ClueZ, depending on whichever makes your brain hurt less when you read the title of this short series. It's going to be one shot. We're going to have it all done tonight. I'm joined tonight by my three player characters who will introduce themselves later, but you know them as Mitch,
hello,
Dakota, and Chris.
Hello.
It's going to be a little bit different tonight. We are going to be using the game mechanics from Zealand, which is based on the sigil system, as well as some bits and pieces. But it's going to be up to our group to figure out how to make it through the night. And I'm really, really looking forward to this. And so without further ado, we shall start. So, all of you wake up at roughly the same time. You find yourselves dressed in very fine clothing. Tuxedos, dresses, whatever you would think is fine clothing. But this is not your clothes. Looking around, you see... I'm bad at math. You see five other people sitting at a large dining table covered in steaming food. Everything is in fine china, carafes full of various foods and liquids. You're in a very nice, ornate, large dining room. There's a roaring fire over your shoulder. As you look around the room, you see an equally confused look from everyone else around you. You don't know how you got here. You don't know why you're here. All you know is that you are here. After a few moments of confusion, a voice comes over an intercom. It's heavily garbled, like a computerized sounding voice. Good evening, dinner guests, and welcome to the show. You all have been signed up for this by your friends and family. Obviously, we wanted to keep it a secret so you didn't know anything about the game. Your goal is to make it out of the mansion. If you look at your left wrist, you all look down, and you have what looks to be a smartwatch. The screen is blank. It's just on your wrist. Very nice, very fancy looking. If I can direct your attention to above the fireplace, you look up and you all see your names. Next to that, you see a heartbeat. And you see some of your heartbeats going up a little bit. Some of them are staying pretty steady. And next to your name, you all see the figure of $1 million. The voice comes back on. Now you know the payout of the game. If you figure out the clues and you make it out, that sum will be wired directly into your bank account. It's up to you how you get through the night. It's up to you how many of you make it out. So if you choose not to participate, obviously you'll forfeit, and your earnings will go to those that do make it out. So best of luck to you, and enjoy the night. That's it. The microphone cuts out, and you're all left, like I said, in a very ornate dining room, sitting at a table, wearing clothes that aren't yours, in a room you don't recognize, with no recollection of how you got here. So before we get to the actual storyline, why don't you quickly introduce yourself? Or we can just do that to get it out of the way.
All right. I am playing Donovan Alarmgo.
Don't do it.
I am in a black kind of three-piece suit, that like ruffled cloth that they always wear right here. That's always like fluffed up a bit. As you less nautical theme, but long black hair, as you can see, and better trimmed than this facial hair. But immediately, Donovan stands and, what's the meaning of this? Where am I? Where are we?
Mitch, your character is a stereotypical villain.
Is that why the alarms go off?
You're already so dramatic. You're the stereotypical villain or drama teacher.
And who exactly are you?
This is Gwendolyn.
I'm sorry?
Oh my god. Gwendolyn. That look like me. Yes. No.
Then?
Well, I'm Greg. And I'd be wearing, honestly, I'd probably be wearing like a serious like James Bond look type of suit and tie.
Little bow tie and everything.
Right? Or, no, let's see. There's like an actual like tie now, right?
No.
I guess it depends on what era. The era I grew up with James Bond, he had the bow tie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I never remembered the bow tie. I'm sorry. I'm a child.
Most of the time, it's off his body. That's when he goes like to the fancy like dry martini bow tie talk to.
Anyway, so like I imagine the James Bond just before the current James Bond, before Daniel Craig, right?
Pierce Brosnan? Or is that too far back?
I thought he still wore bow ties.
I don't remember. Someone will remind us.
That's the one I grew up with, was Pierce Brosnan.
Was he? Oh, okay.
He was also in like 55 James Bond movies.
Okay.
So you're dressed
Well, you
something
don't
like
have to have a bow tie. It's just like
Yeah, I guess
You've got a nice tie.
I got a nice tie.
And character that looks a lot like me pops up. Not really sure what's going on here. I'm Tyler. I'm just a retail salesman. I don't get it. Why are we here? Does anybody remember anything at all? I was in my store. I closed up for the night. That's the last thing I remember.
well, one thing's clear: our friends and our family sucks.
This doesn't make any sense.
One person in particular.
Last I remember, I was having dinner with my family.
Last I remember, I think I was just walking home for the night.
That Gwendolyn. With a D.
Wow.
Here,
All right.
So then another person pipes up. It's a woman. She says, "It's Stephanie. I'm just a stay-at-home mom. Like, I dropped my kids off at soccer practice, and she's dressed in like a very nice, like very form-fitting red dress, like Jessica Rabbit style red dress with the stay-at-home Pilates mom bod to fill it out. I mean, I can see my husband signing me up for this maybe, and money's money. So I guess we'll just have to see how the night goes." And then the other person at the table, older, maybe like 50s or 60s. I'm just retired. I used to work in a steel mill. Mike. So, I mean, I don't really have any friends or family to speak of that would sign me up for this. So, I mean, I'm just as confused as the rest of you.
I'm gonna get up and go to the door. Is it locked?
No. Door opens.
All right.
How much you want to bet the front door is locked?
Well then.
Almost certainly. And I'm sure the windows are barred and reinforced.
I don't know. Let's throw a chair for that.
Are there cameras?
Roll investigate.
Can I help him?
Anyone that wants to look around for cameras can roll investigate.
I'll look for.
So for the purpose of this game, I gave everybody 50 luck, so they'll have 5 sigils, and they know that this is a one-shot.
Yeah, I'm bad at looking.
Double zeros is actually 0, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
you rolled a 6.
I passed. I got a 6.
Okay, so you got a 6. You look around, and nothing jumps out at you. You see, you don't even see necessarily speakers, but the voice when it was talking kind of seemed to come from everywhere, like a home theater quality, very crisp, even though it was a modulated voice.
Is there anything in the fireplace? I guess the fire going off right now.
Fireplace is roaring away, and you see, there's fire poker, there's a little shovel, there's a little brush, everything that would go with the fireplace.
And there's nothing behind the fire itself, basically.
Just the brick wall at the back of it.
Well, I don't see any cameras here.
Yeah. I suppose we should have a look around, right?
Yeah.
He said we're supposed to be here. He said who survives. What was that supposed to mean?
Yeah, I don't like the fact that they're taking my heart rate either.
Is it pulsating?
I mean, all of ours should be pulsating.
I certainly hope.
I couldn't help myself.
So Tyler stands up. He was the first one to introduce himself. Like,
Which figure is he?
pick one.
This is the stay-at-home mom. This would be Tyler.
Okay.
So Tyler stands up.
Why?
Tyler the Spearman.
He's like, well, I don't want anything to do with this. This is not something that I want to be part of. You can go ahead and let me out now. I'm done. I don't want to be part of this. He kind of looks around. Nothing happens. Forget this. And he takes off the heart monitor. He sets it on the table.
Dude.
And he makes it about 3 steps.
Yeah.
His hand comes away, and it's just covered in blood. And he starts coughing more and more, and drops to the ground. And you look up at the screen, and the heart rate goes to 0. And the dollar sign ticks down to 0, and all of your money goes up to $1,200,000.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go over to like is there like in like puncture ones where his like watch was that might have like injects something that
Good.
went in.
You need to investigate. Just flat. Ooh, I do need the cheat sheets. Do you sell the cheat sheets?
They're in the black bag.
If you're staying in character.
Would that be forensic?
Well, either way, I passed.
Okay, what'd you roll?
42.
You don't see any puncture wounds underneath it. You see where the wrist wrap was.
Check the blue folder.
You just see, like, you know, when you wear a watch all day long, you just see the marks of where it was. But you don't see any... There's like 5 marks for it.
The bluest blue one or the lightest blue one?
Past it. So yeah, and you check for a pulse, and it's nothing. There's nothing. And then there's this frothy, bright red blood just oozing out of his mouth onto the floor.
Does it smell like fun?
It's yes. To you, if you smelled blood before, it smells like blood. Thank you.
That's concerning.
So then,
I'll go and check and look at the watch itself. He threw on the ground. So it looks like a regular smartwatch, right?
it just looks like a regular smartwatch. You see the 2 little metal. There's usually either like metal to detect the skin, or there's like a little infrared light on the back that'll detect your pulse. And you
Do you want me
see,
to leave it on the map?
you just put him prone. You see, basically, it looks like the back of a Fitbit.
Okay.
You don't notice anything out of the ordinary without even having to do an event. Without doing a roll, it just looks like a normal heart monitor watch. So then, as you're doing that, you hear the click coming from the speaker, and the same modulated voice comes back over the loudspeaker. Well, that happened a lot quicker than it usually does.
Usually.
So, when I said, if you survive the night, well, now you understand a little bit more. And the voice clicks back out.
Forfeiting the game is forfeiting your life, I suppose.
All right. Let's stop and listen. Like, this is like movie 101. Like, let's be honest. You don't pick off a mysterious object.
I'll touch the top,
Mhm.
I guess, like where the screen is. Does anything? Because it's just black, right?
It's just a blank screen. When you touch it, it literally just shows the time.
Okay.
And it's right now. According to this watch, it says it's 5:35 p.m. 5:35 p.m. So dinner time, and you see your heart rate. But that's it. There's no Wi-Fi signal. There's no any other indicator. Time and your heart rate, which you look up at the screen, and it's the same heart rate reflected there.
I'll go ahead and pocket the watch for now, and then look towards the food. He said that there was clues, right? So why is there an entire meal set up? I wonder if there's clues in the food.
Perhaps, but it's also dinner time.
How convenient.
Well, like, do we feel hungry?
Yeah, you could eat, and everything here looks like 5-star restaurant fancy. Everything's plated very nice, fine china. Like looking down at your table near where you were sitting, like there's thick linen napkins. The plates themselves are very ornate. There's actually like gold inlaid on them, and it looks to be this actual silverware, like steak knives, forks, multiple spoons that no one's really sure what to do with.
Well then,
Hope no one's a werewolf. Silver, dude, come on.
are werewolves common where you're from?
I don't know. It just seems like I don't know. Creepy house.
It shouldn't be common anywhere. This shouldn't be an issue.
Maybe she's from Barovia.
Well, I for one would hate for this to get to waste.
Well, feel like you didn't get all by yourself. Well, if you want to join her.
I'll sit up at one of the tables and I'll start.
You're all at the one table, so
Right.
you just pull up to a spot, and then like Stephanie and Mike, she looks like she's freaking out. Like she's looking at the body and looking at the rest of you, and she's like, "You're just gonna eat?"
Well, he's obviously a stereotypical villain.
Look, We're going to be here for a long
Do you not see
time.
how he's looked? That's like
I don't know
Hunger
if
Games
these
101.
things go off based on unconsciousness or what have you, but I'm going to have some strength for whatever happens tonight.
What if it's poison?
Would you like to taste test it for me?
No.
So the old guy, he's like, I'm with him, and he just reaches over. Like, there's just like a whole turkey, like just beautiful looking. It has like the little white booties in the end. And he just grabs one of the legs and yanks it off, takes a big old bite, and you're like, damn, that's good.
See, our friend here did not die.
Well, poison always does an act within seconds.
Exactly my point. All right.
So he'll just like look at everybody and just keep gnawing on the leg, like,
No,
I feel fine.
start like dishing out some food for myself.
And there's anything and everything. There's like steak. There's like fancy looking fish with the head still on it. Piles of mashed potatoes and everything you can imagine is laid out. This is a big table.
All right. Well, you know what? I'll sit at one of the chairs and I'll start looking to grab something. But when I do, I want to see if there's like any mechanism or anything out of the ordinary under the food, basically.
All right, go ahead and give it investigate. +10.
That is that's a 19. So I passed.
So you're grabbing some food. And are you trying to like you're just lifting yourself up and looking?
I'd probably like grab something,
Scoop
lift
things
it
around.
up, look, see if there's anything there, and then take it on my plate, basically.
Just so the few bowls and plates that are near you, lift them up, and you don't see anything. Just find nice linen tablecloth underneath it.
Okay.
It doesn't appear to be anything untoward with the food, with the plates, anything of that nature.
All right.
Well,
Do you want to eat with a body in this room, or also, Mitch? Real question: are you up at the head of the table, like behind the window, and like?
I don't know.
Are you facing the fireplace?
I just picked a
I think
chair.
Tyler was closest to the window. I think, and then who's the white figurine?
Me.
Okay, so yeah, it would be. That's where you started. You woke up.
It's a villain hat!
That's what I
Well,
was getting
no.
at.
So the fireplace is actually against that back wall, the wall to the right of all the player characters on the outside wall. Yeah, that would be in the center is where the fireplace, and above that is the TV screen, and there's windows to either side, heavy draped curtains.
Well, see, what I was doing is making a joke, because he's at the head of the table next to a window and or a fireplace. That's like a very stereotypical villain thing to do.
He woke up at the head of the table.
I'm not quite fond of all
No.
the assumptions that you're making of me.
I'm telling you to Mitch, not your stupid character.
Saying this in
I like his character.
I don't have an accent. I mean, no, it's a pretty cool character, but it's also like, you picked the worst name, the worst look, to like, oh yeah, you're still a villain. Not saying that's wrong. It's just
So do you all grab food?
villain. No.
I'm going to enjoy some food and hopefully some wine if they've got it.
So you look over and you see a drinks cart, and there's just decanters full of various liquids. Nothing's labeled, but you do see something that would look like a red wine, very dark, rich color.
So,
Well, we're going to be here for a long time. You can either enjoy it, or you can stress about bad decisions.
I'm gonna take a look around. I'll pick up I have food on my plate already,
Okay.
so I'll pick up my plate and I'll open one of the doors. And first, I'm gonna.
So there's just the one. So there's just the one. The one. It's a big, heavy wooden double door, like fancy ornate brass doorknobs. And you open them up, and actually you'd already checked to see the door was locked. It opens into a hallway, and in front of you see a stairwell leading up. The hallway's very lit. Everything's very lit. There's no like spooky dark corners. It just looks like a mansion. You feel that you're in a very large area. You almost feel the sound, how it travels. You can tell you're in a very large building.
Okay. So you said a hallway. At the end of the hallway, there's stairs, but there are doors.
Like in front of you, because right there, that's staircase, and you're looking through the door at a staircase, and you can see the very nice wooden banisters going up, and you see light coming down from upstairs.
Okay. But so are there doorways to the sides then as well?
So looking out to the right, you just see hallway to the right, hallway to the left.
All right.
So,
You see walls and stuff, so it doesn't just. And there's windows at the ends of the hallways and all that.
well, I'm going to go to where I would assume the front entrance is.
Okay. So you can wander around for a bit. Let me pull up my map. So we'll use kind of D&D travel rules in this one. So it's going to be the 3 times the first digit of your athletic score in feet. So we'll go that many squares. Let's say.
Why don't you just do like what our athletics thing is? Because it's already like 40, so we just do like the 5 feet.
Oh, yeah, we can do that too for simplification. That works.
Because I don't want to do math.
Okay, so we'll stick with whatever your athletic score is. You can go that many squares. You do 5 foot squares. So in your turn, even though we're not rolling initiative or anything like that.
Well, I have 40 movement.
Okay.
Because I'll just go to where the stairs is and then
Right.
look around there.
So you're
move your.
you're going out here, right? Like you're peeking out.
Chris is.
Yeah, and then you're going over here.
Well, I would go to like where the stair, like the
I think this
bottom of the
is
stairs.
just a hallway, and then there's stairs here.
No, that center piece is the stairway. So you'd have to go around it to either side. It's like built into it. It's solid on the side.
It's a grand
stairway.
staircase, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
I
just.
thought.
I got you.
Oh no, I thought that you were saying that there was just a center hallway that goes straight up to like stairs
Oh,
that I'm
no.
looking at.
So you're
and
staring-
There's nothing to the left or the
So
right.
you're staring, like when you're looking, you're staring at the side of a staircase. You see that to your right is where the staircase starts, and it leads up to the left, to your left, upstairs somewhere.
Okay, and then we just see hallway. Okay.
To your right and to your left, yes.
So I just went to like the base of the stair,
Okay.
stairwell, and then I'll look around there.
Right, so looking up the stairs, you can't really see much past it. You see, light coming from there. You see what looks to be a hallway, and behind you, you see another set of heavy wooden double doors. But there's windows either side, and you see one singular door at the end of that. And you see through that window, you see what looks to be like an entryway. You can see like coat racks and little stools to sit down and take your shoes off.
Okay.
And so, for the purpose of the game, when you discover what a room is, you can write the name of it in the room, just like on a game board. So you start off in the dining room, and you just discovered that as essentially the hall or the main entryway, however you want to annotate that.
Okay, well, I'm going to like check to see if it's locked. I'm not going to open it, just like jiggle the hand things or like open it a little bit.
So that set of doors you can tell is unlocked. There's no resistance to it. The doors move a little bit when you turn the handle. To the entryway, there's still another room in there, and then a front door.
Yeah. Okay, looking into it, or I'm guessing I'm wearing shoes. Are there like slippers in the entryway?
You don't see any slippers.
Darn it.
Give me an investigate. Plus 20. Or sorry, well, in perception, essentially.
Well,
So perception plus 20.
I passed with a 33.
Okay. So to the left of the main door,
Mhm.
looking through the door, you see a keypad.
Oh, the keypad like on these doors?
Yes. On the left-hand side, facing the doors to get out, you see a numerical keypad. You can't get, you're not close enough to see what's on them, but it's a numerical keypad.
So, you're still at the doorway, or did you walk through?
I'm apparently still at the doorway. I was lunging food out the door to make sure nothing tried to kill me as soon as I did.
And then I just walk right past you.
Yeah.
We're not to that room yet.
Oh, okay.
So, perhaps, if you're going to be here for a little while, perhaps we should get to know each other a little bit.
Mary.
So Stephanie kind of looks around and she pulls up she goes back to where she woke up essentially, and you see her. She starts loading her plate up. Same with Mike just sits down and keeps gobbling on the turkey leg.
So, you said that you didn't quite have any friends or family that would put you up for this kind of thing. Perhaps a boss or maybe some coworkers. But you said you were retired.
I retired from the steel mill 45 years. Maybe a coworker, but I don't think they would sign me up for something like this. That guy just died. That's a weird circumstantial thing if he just died at the same time he took that watch off.
Well, right. So, my question is, are you in need of this money? Are you in desperate straits?
I have my pension, but hell, $1 million. That's a lot of Viagra and companionship, my friend.
And what about you?
To Stephanie?
Yeah.
A stay-at-home mom with 3 kids, all with various expensive hobbies. My husband has an okay job, but yeah, I could use this money for sure.
But you're not Neither of you are like hurting for it. You're not desperate. There's no outstanding medical bills. There's no mom who's dying of cancer in the hospital. And
Not for me. I mean, we have our debt, mortgage on the house, making payments on the car, stuff like that. But
I'm more just trying to piece what pieces us all together. He said this doesn't typically happen this fast, which means this isn't the first time. But this isn't like any reality show that I've seen. And frankly, if we can find some kind of connecting fact, perhaps that'll help us in the long run.
And Mike says, maybe he's just kind of like mumbling. He's like, maybe it's one of those weird Japanese shows with the boulders.
It's possible. I've seen quite a few of those.
What about your Japanese?
What about you? Any outstanding debts? Any?
No. Although, I think the person that put me in here is also in it for the reward. I wonder if the first people that put us in here don't actually know that we might die. Like, I wonder if they only got partial information.
An interesting take. You mean like your friends or family? They just sign you up for a game show?
Like, maybe they thought that, maybe they didn't hear all the details.
It's possible, I guess.
Alright, well, I'm going to take my plate of food, and I'm going to go explore a little bit, see if I can find something about getting out of this place.
We'll be here. Probably.
Orgy time.
I hope so.
So you can use up to your athletics.
Not the best.
I'm just going to go up to this door here.
Okay. So you go towards that door, and you go in.
Yeah, I'll open the door.
So you open up, and you look in, and it's a ballroom. So very in the middle, there's a large dance floor, very nice looking dance floor in the middle. There's a nice crystalline chandelier casting a soft light, and you see it reflecting off of the gold fixtures that are on the furniture. Everything's kind of gilded. There's nice fine paintings on the walls, gilded mirrors with what looks to be gold inlay along the frame. It's just a nice, very nice room, very wide open, very big bay windows on the looking out towards the lawn. It's not super well lit, the lawn, but you can see out there, and you see, looking out there, you see a round building with a glass roof. And doors at the other end of the ballroom, which could lead to this room.
Alright. I will, I'll probably walk up to one, just out of casual, like, curiosity, I'll go up to one of the paintings and, like, try to, like, move it.
It swings, and you move it, it moves a little bit.
And just behind it, nothing, and then just put it back, and I'll probably start, where's the window?
So the windows are going to be like so there's windows there, and then there's windows on the flat piece as well.
On the flat piece? Oh, so that's right here.
Yeah. Well, so no, sorry, those are doors. And to those two, right, correct. Those are the windows, and they look out onto one, and you see that circular building.
Okay.
It's hard to draw circles on a grid.
Alright, so this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's my movement.
Okay.
Not so much movement.
Same as you?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's same as you.
No, it's 40.
Nah.
So the way we'll do like movements and actions type of stuff, we're not going to do initiative, but like everyone will get a turn, and just like in Zealand, you can choose who goes when. So like you chose to sit and talk, like she chose to go investigate, he chose to go investigate. The NPCs both chose to sit and converse with you. So essentially, everyone has gone. Tyler chose to boot out on the ground for his turn.
Oh.
So it would be back
he
up.
chose to.
Well, he took off the watch.
So it would be back up to the top of the order, and whoever wants to go. And we'll typically I'll have the NPCs go last.
All right. Could I just keep walking up to the windows?
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so I can get up to here.
So you're in front of the door, and like all the other doors, is very nice, ornate. Has kind of not a mosaic necessarily, but a pattern carved into it. Heavy wooden doors with nice, thick metallic, probably brass handles. And one thing you noticed, everything is like spotless. The windows don't have any smudges on them. The floor is gleaming. Everywhere you look is just perfect.
Wow.
Like too clean to be true type clean.
Okay.
I just realized that.
I'll probably. I imagine holding a plate like this and looking out the window just to see if I can see anything in the distance for any signs of like where we are.
So looking out, go ahead and give me perception plus 10. It's sort of well lit outside, but it's not great.
Okay, that is a 4.
Okay. So looking out the window, you can't really tell where the light is coming from out on the lawn, but it is lit. Not like security light lit. Potentially maybe some lights on the building, a little bit of the moon. And you can't see anything out there. Like eventually it just kind of fades into darkness and you can't make out anything beyond it. Like all you see is lawn, you see some like hedgerow type stuff, but nothing, no other buildings. You look up and it's dark, but it's not to the point where stars are out, but it's a clear night. You can tell that there's a shining moon out from somewhere.
Alright. So then, as I'm looking out the window, turn hand will open and then look through.
It opens. All right, so you were looking in, and you see a glass dome ceiling. And around the edge is just bookshelf after bookshelf after bookshelf. There's some tables with chairs. In the center is a very nice, very expensive-looking telescope. It's pointing up at the glass ceiling.
I will I'll go ahead and just like take a step in, and that's the end of my movement.
Okay. So back to Dakota and Mitch, and then the NPCs. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So you open the door into here, and you look into what looks to be a lounge. Everywhere there are like chase lounges, big overstuffed chairs, high backs. You see like cards, you see board games, you see another drink cart like you saw in the dining room. You see a humidor to the right, like a big like walk-in humidor, and you see box after box of cigars with the little humidity control on the outside. The same thing as everywhere else that you've seen. It's just everything's clean. Like look at the windows, the very heavy drapes on them, but it's spotless. Like there's nothing out of place. Even the stuff that's laid out like a deck of cards looks almost intentionally laid out. So that is what you see at first glance looking into the lounge. But on a center table, what looks to be a little higher than a coffee table, you see how many people are still standing? 5, right?
Yeah.
Now you see 4 vials. I did that math mistake. You see 4 vials, just with a little cork stopper on the top, and they're illuminated from the bottom. It looks very out of place because it's like a lit tray with 4 vials on it. And in front of each vial, you see. I know. To me it makes sense because I'm in the military, but if you've ever seen like the thumbprint readers. So there's like 4 what looks to be thumbprint readers, one in front of each vial. And there's a card on the table next to it.
I'll go over there then.
Okay.
And just look at it.
At what?
The card?
Okay. So you walk up and you see this card on the table.
Oh my god.
You want to take a moment to read that?
I can't read it. No. It's a puzzle. I hate puzzles.
You're not there.
I'm noticing that there's like a bunch of holes in the back of it or
So
something.
that's what you've done with your turn. You walked in.
I'll
you see
hook it on my hands.
Okay.
That's.
So that is your turn. So back to Mitch and the NPCs.
It's like.
I know you guys gave your character names, but I'll probably just keep calling you guys by your names. I'm sorry. In character, feel free to use them back and forth.
He's ruined it.
Velonius alarms go off.
Alarm go.
Melodious. You should have named your character that. I'm hungry.
You just left the dining room. It's got plenty of food.
No, I mean, Kevin's hungry. She
So-
wants a turkey leg.
So we basically, for the flow of the videos, there won't be recaps. We're just going to be one continuous, broken up into episodes for upload. We're going to take about every hour. We're going to take a pause just for our personal, whatever we need to do. But
All right. So, as time goes by, like, are they looking antsy at all? Are they?
So Stephanie, she's, it's been like a couple minutes. You guys loaded your place, and she's not really like tucking into her meal like Mike. Mike's just like finish off turkey leg, grab a roll, like reach for some pie. He looks like he's never had a meal in his life.
Mm-hmm.
She's just kind of like picking at stuff, moving it around, and just kind of just looking around the room. Like you see her eyes keep going back over to where Tyler was, and like you'll see her gaze like where his seat was. Like from her angle, she might not necessarily see him, like where he was sitting, and she like flips back to her food, and she'll make eye contact with you, and she'll make eye contact with Mike, but she's just kind of looking, and she looks, she finds a glass, and she'll go over to the drink cart. She'll pour herself, like, you see her grab the wine, and she pours like the whole glass and brings the carafe back with her, and you see her just like take it to task.
Is it good?
This is the best food and wine I've ever had.
Did you know him?
Tyler? No, I don't know anybody here.
You keep looking over at him.
He just died. Like, how are you not looking at him?
Out of sight, out of mind, I guess. We've got a long night to go in. Though it is quite the startling start, hopefully it will be the last. And I'll take like one of the big napkins and like dab my mouth, and I'll toss it onto the plate for a moment. And I'll stand. Actually, I could use this probably to wipe down something later. You never know. And I'll grab the napkin, but I'll have wanted to toss the napkin like onto one of the steak knives.
Okay.
And like grab the napkin and the knife, but not make it obvious that I'm like grabbing a knife too.
Roll stealth. I'll roll for both of them, but they're both not really paying strict attention.
But you get what I mean, right?
Yeah. You're like,
Slide
I could have this. I had both dice. I'm perpetually losing dice. I dropped it, man.
Disappeared.
Yes. So I'll just roll this twice. That's fine.
I will spend a sigil.
Okay.
Because I rolled a 99.
Got 99 problems, but stealth ain't one.
It's still a fail.
But what did you roll?
44.
Okay. So Stephanie doesn't seem to catch on. And neither one of them make any outward appearance of seeing what you did other than like picking up a knife.
Right.
So you now have one steak knife.
Right.
Essentially, in game terms, it would be considered like a knife in game. So I think it's plus. Is it a cheat sheet?
It'd be a light weapon.
Yeah, it'd be light.
So 10 damage.
Yep.
Okay.
This kind of makes no sense.
And I'll make my way.
It's almost like it's a puzzle or something.
I know. It's so shocking.
30.
Man,
That's as far as I can go.
So Stephanie, like seeing you leave, she quickly follows suit. Like she's just gonna kind of stick. She's following you. Like,
Right.
She's not like right on your heels or anything. And then you hear Mike like. Then you hear like a noise, and he comes out with the other turkey leg, like, and he's got a napkin too. So
Right.
afterwards, again, so Mike is dressed.
I mean, it's not our house.
Yeah. So Mike also is dressed, and like he's got the 3-piece on, like pinstripe. He looks it almost looks like an old mobster tux with the pinstripes, like broad shoulders, but it looks really good on him.
Right.
Like more like a timey piece with the vest, tie, little handkerchief, cufflinks, the full shebang.
Maybe when we find out whoever did this, we can keep the clothes.
Hey,
Because it looks like they got your measurements just right.
yeah. I mean, I need something to wear to my funeral, right?
And I'll look over at Stephanie, and they did quite a favour for you as well.
Yeah, I don't know if my husband will want them to put me in this for a talk show. Wait, who dressed us? And you see her turn around and like fumble for something, and she turns back and she's like bright red. Like you saw her kind of checking this
Did
area.
they forget something?
and have words with the producer. But she's like bright red. So she looks. She's very like brunette hair. You can tell it's probably usually just like chucked back in a ponytail, but it's like shining, like a luxurious look to it. Makeup looks professionally done.
Right.
Like
So
she's good looking girl.
So either they forgot something or they found a really good something.
I think by her reaction, I think they forgot to put something on under the dress.
Did they though?
Probably. It's probably by design. So they're both kind of just gonna stick with you for now.
Well, how high is that V split?
Oh, it's like I said, it comes down and
It's the
no,
Jessica
like
Rabbit
the-
dress, like
up to the
Slit.
side.
Like, is it too
It
high?
comes up to about mid thigh. I'm not sure she can walk around without being trashy. Like, and she's in heels, and after a few clicks, she's like, and she reaches down and takes the heels off. She still has them in her hand, but she's like, this is not practical, and it doesn't look like anything's too dirty, so I shouldn't probably have to worry about stepping at anything.
just
So that's the player characters. So now we're gonna basically refresh back to the top, so everyone still has their.
do you want to keep observing?
Sure. I'll look over into the telescope.
Okay. So looking at the telescope, just generically looking at it, you can tell it's modern. Like everything else in the room has like that old feeling to it. There's like text and tones and stuff. Not tones, but books, science books, in the bookshelves. This looks modern. It's actually hooked up to a laptop next to it. The screen is currently blank, but you see the power light is on. And the telescope is just pointing up. Right now it's not displaying anything.
Okay. So, looking in the magnifying glass where the telescope doesn't show anything.
Right now it's a blank screen.
Okay. I will go ahead and, I guess, I don't know, tap the touchpad and wiggle it, see if it turns on.
It comes to life, and you see a drop-down menu that says choose body.
What are the options?
So, let me confirm my notes. I did take notes.
These are more notes than he has ever taken for
It's true.
Zealand.
So you see the moon,
Mhm.
Mars, Saturn, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter.
Moon, Mars, Saturn, Venus, Jupiter?
Yes. Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, the moon, Mars, and Mercury. It just says moon. Now go ahead and give me an investigate. It's just pass or fail.
47, so fail.
You fool. Your touchpad is laced with deadly toxins.
So that's what you see. You see a drop-down menu, and it's got a mouse. It's got the little touchpad.
Okay.
It says choose body.
I will, looking at the glass, are there any, symbols or anything like that?
With the investigate roll, you don't notice anything else in the room. Like the glass looks clear, and you can look it up. And again, it's still too early for stars, but you see the night sky is very clear.
Moon in the sky?
You don't see the moon here.
Okay. I will choose the moon anyway.
It is also 5:30.
Yeah, it's like it's like early dark. It's early dark, but you can tell the sun has gone down, but the moon. It's that in between where it's dark, but it's not dark enough to see up. So the second you choose the moon, you hear. I know I can hear when electronics turn on.
Okay.
And you hear that noise, and you hear some words and some clicks coming from the telescope itself.
Okay.
On the glass, a flicker of light comes on, and you're staring at the night sky, and it starts to move around. It starts. You ever been to an actual observatory where they do the digital shows?
Okay.
It starts to do that. You see little names, and you see this, and the constellations are highlighted, and it keeps rotating around until the moon is right there in front of you.
So, the glass ceiling itself then is moving?
No, nothing's moving, but there's a picture being projected against the glass.
Got it.
Essentially. And you can't see beyond it now. All you see is the starry sky with the moon and everything on it.
Okay.
So with that, give me a perception plus 20.
Perception plus 20.
You're rolling great. Why can't you roll as good for our actual Zealand games? You would have made that spear by now.
So you're looking up and you hear a noise, and you look down to the left side, kind of at the base of the telescope, and you see 6 LED lights in a row, and the third one has turned green.
Okay. Six, and the third one's turned green.
Correct.
I take notes, but I'm not there.
Right, yeah. I am taking notes, don't worry. And there are 6, 6 bodies and 6 lights. Interesting. I will just click on another one then.
Okay, so which one?
Let's go with Mars, because that's the second closest.
So you click on the Mars and the same thing. The view slews around to, everything in between the moon and Mars, depending on which axis you're looking at. Excuse me. And as soon as it zooms into Mars, and this is like a good digital image of Mars. You hear another tick, and you look back, and the 4th LED light has turned on.
Okay.
So that's where we'll end your turn for now.
Sure.
So we're back up to Dakota and Mitch and the NPCs. Your head hurts?
Also, what does this smell?
You can spare your wife's perfume on it.
I know it smells like cologne, but
No.
I can offer.
That's part of the play. I know.
There's so many freaking circles on the
I
map.
don't know.
Do you want to keep working on that, or do you want to do something?
Well, technically, it's up my skirt.
So it's your turn, and in your turn, if you're working a clue, you can essentially say, I'm going to continue to work this clue, or you can take actions, you can confer with other people. It's whatever you want to do.
Okay, well, there are vials,
So the vials, right, there's the 4 vials in the middle of the room it's not a coffee table, it's more like a counter, I guess, kind of in the middle of the room.
in table.
And they're lit up from below. They're just clear vials, and there's what looks to be a thumb pad in front of all 4 of them. But the card was on the table, centered in front of the thumb pads.
Okay, what else is in this room? Is there somewhere? Can I lift up the vial tray?
No.
No?
You try, but it's a fixed.
Can I remove a vial?
You can pick up you can pick one up, you can just put it down, whatever you want to do.
Is the keypad still on it?
Keypad's in this room.
Yeah, the keypad's in the
Oh
hallway.
no, I meant there's a thumbprint pad.
Yes. So the thumbprint, basically there's a vial, and then in front of it, right in front of it, there's a thumbprint.
So
Or a thumb pad.
when I pick up the vial, does the thumb pad go with it, or does it stay in the thing?
It lights up. The one right directly in front of the vial that you're currently holding lights up.
I will set it back down.
The light goes back up. So, but you're in the lounge. Like I said, there's a drinks cart. There's the humidor full of cigars. There's a bunch of chairs to sit in.
Are the chairs wooden, fancy wooden chairs that you can move?
You haven't tried to move one, but yeah, they're all fancy looking, very ornate chairs.
Can I try to push a chair?
Sure. It takes a little bit because they're heavy, but it scoots across the ground.
Does it make a loud noise?
Yeah, I mean, it's scooting a heavy wooden chair across the polished floor.
Oh, there's not a carpet. I thought there was.
There's throw rugs in the middle, and they're very nice looking, ornate, oriental throw rugs.
Is the drink tray movable?
It's a cart with wheels.
Darn it. Is it a seating chair that's not super heavy? That has a wooden back?
Yeah, there's some, like the not Crown Victorian, like the Crown backed ones. That looks something like you could probably pick it up.
Okay, I'm gonna pick it up and then put it right underneath the handle of the door.
Okay. So you've now locked yourself in the lounge.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not gonna open this room. Clue, whatever.
Alright. So back to Mitch, and you would have heard a and then you hear a ka-ching.
It looks like the others are getting comfortable.
Does it sound like sex?
Perhaps they went off together.
Maybe.
Young.
Mike's young people.
I would think this door is probably still open though.
The door to the dining room is still open.
To the ballroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless, so you didn't declare that you closed it behind you. So you see an open door, and as you go by, you see, actually you would be able to see, you'd probably be able to see the most of the ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, so Mike and Stephanie are just going to stick with you.
Okay. I'll
And
pop open this door.
Yeah, they see that, and then you look through to an observatory, and you don't see Chris's character, but like you see what looks some sort of device in the middle of a room with a bunch of books around it. You make your way over to that room.
Yeah.
Okay. So you open up the door, and it's a kitchen. So everything you've seen so far, kind of looking through the ballroom, is very ornate. The dining room is very ornate. This is the most modern room you've seen in the house so far. Like all the appliances are modern. Like double oven with like digital touch commands. New fridge, massive center island for food prep or whatever you need. All of the countertops are either marble or something akin to that. You see glass fronted cabinets, kind of like those, all along the kitchen walls, big with the swan neck sink. Hanging over the island, you have like the vent hood over top of a kind of a range in the middle of the thing, kind of like a hibachi grill. There's pots and pans hanging from that. Over on the side, you see another range stovetop, the burners, and next to that, a big, like massive, heavy wooden knife block, just bristling with handles. And then at the far end, well, we didn't draw it on here, but as part of the room, at the far end, you see a door that's partly open, lit on the backside, and you see like foodstuffs. It looks like a pantry.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay. Well, if anyone might, if you're still hungry after that, you can always whip something up.
I think I'm good for now. But he goes and he opens up the fridge. He's like,
What's wrong? No ale?
Stephanie, you drink beer? And she's like, not really, I'm more of a wine girl. He's like, what about you? You drink beer?
I don't partake. No, it's liquor or wine for me.
Pabst Blue Ribbon is not what I would necessarily call fancy beer. That's my favorite, and it's here. They have it in this fridge. On your own. Maybe they did a questionnaire with whoever signed me up and just knocks back. Which is weird. Like, you just saw him polish off probably like $180 worth of food. Fancy food. Now he's chasing with a Pabst Blue Ribbon. So.
Is there a wine bottle in there, perhaps?
Not in here.
Maybe in the pantry?
Maybe. Stephanie goes over and opens up the door, and she's like,
Let me guess, your favorite kind?
yeah, but something weird.
Oh. No.
So looking in the pantry, and it's pretty well stocked. But then, inlaid in the wall is a glass door. And in there, you see a golden disc with looks to be letters and lines all over it. To the left of the gold box is a hole, about the size and shape of probably an arm.
So there's a golden disc.
Inside, you can't really make out all the letters, it's kind of towards the back of it, and it's not very well lit. You see this glass door, heavy metal frame, and to the left of the door is about shoulder height, a hole.
Now, what do you think this is? Curiouser and curiouser.
Probably one of those clues they keep talking about, Mike says, as he's sipping his Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Well, I mean, if it's one way to get us out of here, perhaps we might adventure.
After you, friend.
Oh, no. I actually will be right back. I believe I forgot something in the room we all woke up in.
So you head back out?
Yeah.
So Stephanie and Mike are still in the pantry.
Mm-hmm. They're in the pantry?
Yeah, they kind of Mike. She's in the pantry. Like, she was the one that kind of went in there first. You followed, and Mike is kind of in the doorway behind it.
Right. I want to head back to this guy.
Okay.
And I want to pat him down.
Okay. Give me an investigate plus. Well, let's say plus 30. He's not resisting.
Right. 3.
So you pat him down, and you don't feel anything. There's nothing in his pockets. There's no wallet. There's no keys. No identification. You're going through pockets here and there, and other than just what's on his person, you don't feel anything.
Okay. Figured that'll be me.
Okay. So back to Dakota or Chris.
You haven't gone yet. Well, yeah, you locked yourself in. So if you want to keep
she locked
looking at
herself
Celestial
in.
Party,
Yeah.
He was looking at the telescope.
So okay. So then I'll probably go like, interesting. Start biting on a piece of food on my plate, and then look around.
It's really good. Like, this is damn good food. Still warm. Like, whatever you grabbed, I don't know. You didn't say exactly what you grabbed.
these
but
croutons are amazing.
I'm gonna say probably hand food because
Okay.
it'd be awkward to carry.
So you grabbed a few
lady
like
fingers.
quiches, like a couple of little quiche things, and it's very like it's like a cheesy but savory, like a really good, maybe like a Gouda or something. I don't know what they call it.
Remember that birthday party with the cheese tray? It's
Yeah.
a better version.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Cotier board, which is pretty damn good to be honest.
oh my
So you
gosh.
grab like this, and there's like some like wrapped figs. Just little. You said you picked little finger foods out, so you just keep noshing on stuff, and it's all like, holy crap, this is really good.
Okay, well, like, oh my gosh, this is good. And as I'm looking around, I'm looking at the books, and I want to see if maybe there's something to do, astronomy books, something to do with the components.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigate plus 20.
That is a 55, so I missed it by 5.
Okay. But so you do in this round, you do see you're looking around, and it's kind of divvied out into like the disciplines like of science. Like there's your physiological, there's your biological, there's nature, and towards the end of your time searching, you do find a section that is like astronomy based, and we'll leave it there. But like you do find like the astronomy section.
It's like, oh my gosh, it's like, oh my gosh, this is, that's what I'm looking for.
Like, I have a question for you
Okay.
about this thing. I'm gonna like scoot over there
Okay,
because
you have to be on camera over here though. You
that's
have to
fine.
come all the way around, or don't trip over the wires.
Well, now she's on your camera, right?
Well, that's why she says to stand over here.
So I think I almost got it figured out, but I think you did something wrong. No, only because like this is that
Or
supposed to
you're
be that?
completely wrong.
Well,
or
it's 'cause it's...
you're not using one of the tools at your disposal.
Oh, flashlight. Where am I hiding that, by the way? Have you seen what I'm wearing? Where would I hide a flashlight?
Have you checked your own pockets?
Prison wallet?
I don't have pockets.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be that big. You have a black light of some sort. It could be
My
like
hair's
a
not
little
long enough to
keychain.
hide
Could be a little fob type thing.
It's a hair clip. It could be on your
So like I had like a little tiny miniature black light. It was literally like a keychain black light. It was like a little single bulb.
I don't have any belts.
You
Or
have
It could literally
Get
be
creative.
attached
well,
to
did I at least figure like the first bit kind of?
Maybe it's attached to a piercing.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Tell me what I already know, except for that one thing.
So you look over that,
Yeah.
and what does it say underneath the black light? What do you read?
Once you prove your courage inside a valuable item will cease to hide.
So you now have that clue, and it was in front of the 4 vials and the 4 covers.
My eyes
How do you think I felt writing that damn thing?
Well, no, because I was wearing.
Did you swing by like a spy store?
No, I bought one, so A, to look for scorpions, and B, to make sure like cats haven't made a mess in the house, that type of stuff. Because like you can't see it, but you use a black light that like illuminates. The scorpions will glow orange, like a yellowish orange underneath the black light.
I'm gonna put this in.
I was gonna say that's probably why the note card was wet on the back and we could see it and there's so many circles. I just didn't want to say anything.
But I also made false circles.
Oh, okay.
I made false circles on all of it with just dish soap, so
Okay.
because that doesn't glow under black light. I also learned through the hard way that cardstock doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I printed out. I had this long, beautiful thing. It was like all of these paragraphs of just nonsense. Doesn't freaking glow on that. A 14-cent package of index cards glows like a damn light bulb. I was so mad.
All right. So
She has that.
While she's doing that, for brevity's sake, can I just come over to one of these rooms?
Sure. So you go over to that room. Let me pull up my map.
So many descriptions.
So you go over. You're in the. Alright, so you open that door, and in here you see a large number of indoor plants, hanging pots, raised wooden planter boxes, and just a large. And it smells like as soon as you open the door, it's like the floral smell wafts out of it. It's very clean, very fresh room. Like the oxygen in here is like a better quality because of all these plants. This is called the conservatory for the maps on the note.
I will say I'm pretty proud of myself. I figured out almost.
Yeah, see, without using the black light, which is the hard way to do it, you just look like the color of the dots.
Yeah, that's why I was like, are you sure? Because...
I'm sure.
Well, no.
That's why I gave you a black light.
Well, no, because I was just wondering, because, like, one of the U's, I thought, like, because my U's are kind of weird, too, so they sometimes can look like an R. That's why I was
I
asking.
have atrocious handwriting. That's why I was like, hopefully they can read this.
I'm surprised I got, like, 95% of it.
I'll take a look around. You said there's, like, planter boxes?
Yes, so there's hanging ones that will be up out of your reach. There's a few that are more, like, shoulder, eye level. Most of them contain like more vined plants that kind of hang out over the edges, and then there's along the walls near the windows where they would get appropriate levels of sunlight. There's going to be your regular planter boxes.
Okay. Are they named at all? Like, are there plant names? Are there?
You don't see anything. Just quick glance, you don't see any type of labels or anything. I don't know how familiar you are with botany. I know I'm not, but they're plants. Do you want to look further or spend more time looking through the room?
Yeah, let's do that.
So go ahead and give me. So what do you want to search? Just what are you looking for? What are you looking in?
So they're like there's not tables with planter boxes on them. They're just the planter boxes.
Right. So the tables themselves, you see, there's bottles of what looks like pesticides, weed killer. And there's a large pair of pruning shears, like the big hedge trimmers.
Okay.
And there's the smaller, like, for cutting through like branches, pruning shears.
So in front of the window, there's like a big planter box.
Yeah, in front of each one, there's a bigger planter box.
I'll walk over and through some of the planter boxes. I'll just like run my fingers along the dirt.
Okay.
See if there's anything.
Give me an investigate plus 20.
Investigate plus 20.
Mm-hmm.
Fail by 1.
Okay. So like in D&D, it's not a one and done thing. Like if you wanted to continue investigating on the next turn, like if you want to use a sigil, you can.
Right.
Or if you want to continue to look around in the next turn, you can.
Right.
So that's what you get from this room. Like I said, wide open. You see the windows outside, and it's give me perception again plus 20.
Failed by 4.
Okay, so kind of the same thing that Chris's character saw. Like you see the lawn, like you see it's very well manicured. Everything it looks like the perfect lawn, and you see like hedgerows kind of along the outskirts. You see some trees, or like the kind of the outline of some trees, but at the very edge, it just faces darkness. Like you don't see anything beyond that.
All right.
So then I need all 3 of you to roll perception plus 30. This is hearing based, if that matters for your characters.
Oh, now I pass.
Perception. Oh, so I plus 30. I passed. Okay.
And then wait for Dakota to do that.
Say it.
So Dakota, when you come back, perception plus 30. It's hearing based. So perception plus 30. It's hearing based. Actually, for you, plus 20 because you're behind a closed door.
Okay.
So you all passed?
I got them.
You hear the blood-curdling scream of a woman.
Well, there's only one
And
woman.
for you, I mean, you're all in your rooms, but you can tell it's, back towards the direction from which you came. I mean, like the blood, like high-pitched, painful scream of a woman.
Does it...
It's a little more muffled for you.
I say, like, does it sound like someone's being stabbed?
It sounds like a scream.
It sounds like the blood-curdling scream of a woman. I mean, you can't really read too much into a scream. But it's just this long, drawn-out, like, blood-curdling scream
Does it, like,
that
stop over time?
ends. It doesn't just end abruptly like it tails off.
I'll turn back, and
Back
at this
up to the top of the order.
point, I'll slip the knife like into the sleeve
Okay.
with the blade facing out, and I'll just kind of bunch up the napkin, so
Hold in place.
the blade tip is like resting into the napkin.
And that's where we're going to take our first break. So we will be back shortly.
Oh, okay.
I'm so